And a chance now to have a look at the two sides for this afternoon's match. Here is the French team indeed, and just one remaining member from the 1985 team that faced the Kiwis. That is the wing three-quarter number 2, Ratanay. 3 local players in this French side. Number 4, David Frace. Number 12, Daniel Devey, and 13, Terry Burnhamby. Those players are all from Carcassonne. One late change, Jacques Molina is out of the team. Burnhamby wears 13, and number 9 is Kaydami. And now the Kiwi team, it's the same that played the third test against Great Britain at Central Park in Wigan. So Tony Kemp stays at full-back in the number 1 jersey. Darryl Williams remains in the centres along with Dean Bell. And once again, the tourists field a strong forward pack with the informed props. Atini Faimalo and Brent Todd sure to be prominent today, and expect also later in the game perhaps to see the Kiwis sending the ball wide to their wingers Kevin Iro and Gary Mercer. And so the dignitaries are now being introduced to the two sides, and a chance also to introduce Mark Elia, a member of the Kiwi side, who's with me in the commentary this afternoon. And Mark, the Kiwis, how do they feel about this test against France?
Yeah, another test here. Looking forward to having a good game here and getting back a bit of revenge on our loss last week to Great Britain. But it's a good day here over here in France, and it's something that the players here have been looking forward all week in the hotel for the last 2 or 3 days. Looking forward to this, and I'm looking forward to seeing a good performance from our boys today.
Very disappointing yesterday that the weather conditions in Perpignan were so bad. They really were atrocious down there with electrical storms and high winds and heavy rain. The match really had to be abandoned, and it's much better here in Carcassonne, as you can see today. There's part of the crowd, not a particularly big crowd in the stadium. This is the Albert Demick Stadium. A number of Kiwi supporters have stayed on. There were a lot in Great Britain. Some of them have gone home, but others have undertaken a European tour, and they've arrived in Carcassonne. Their plans, some were upset because the match wasn't played yesterday, but they've managed to get here, and so they form quite a big part of the crowd, which is not big, but the Kiwis cannot afford to take the French lightly. These two sides have met 36 times before, and the Kiwis have won 19. France have won 14. 3 have been drawn, and the Kiwis are keen after their series loss in Great Britain to make sure that they don't lose the series here in France.
Yeah, that's right. We really have to get off and have a good test series win here, and we have to start today. We have to sort of start looking forward to next year when Great Britain come to New Zealand on tour, and there'll be a few players here. Kurt Sorensen probably be close to finishing his career. Hugh McGann coming towards the end, so there could be players here fighting for places. So it's all a big future here for New Zealand Rugby League at the moment, and starting today.
Yes, one of the features of this Kiwi touring team, Mark, has been the performance of the midweek team. They've played very well indeed, and some of those players must be pushing now for inclusion in the test side.
Yeah, well, the Wayne Wallace captain side hasn't lost a game yet. It's been something like 7 games, and been racking up points of 30 and 40 points. And so we've got good depth here on the side, and every position's covered. Every single position. If you don't play well, there's a good chance that you'll be sitting on the sideline.
Okay, just a chance before this, while the teams are being introduced, to talk about yourself. You've had a disappointing tour, really, I suppose, because of that injury, but you did get back to it in Toulouse on Wednesday. Yeah,
frustrating injury, really. I've had a bit of a hamstring problem for the last couple of years, but I actually did my good one this time, and it was a week before the first test. I was been looking forward to hopefully having a good test series against the Great Britain side, but all credit to our doctor and physio who got me back on the field after 4 weeks when I was told it was an 8-week injury. And I was able to play last Wednesday night, and we're playing this Wednesday, and be looking to try and get selection for the second test.
Well, good luck there, and the second test, incidentally, we hear now is going to be in Perpignan, so the people of Perpignan will get a chance to see the test. Let's just hope the weather improves a little, because really yesterday it was impossible to have played a game of rugby league. There's the New Zealand physio, Peter Boyle, who's now got all the gear, and there's today's referee, Robin Whitfield. Now, the Kiwis have had Robin Whitfield on this tour. He refereed the match at Castleford, just the second match on tour. And so he is not foreign to the New Zealanders. In fact, he has refereed an international series in New Zealand in the last 2 or 3 seasons. There is Cyril Pont. He is the right wing three-quarter, it's the left wing three-quarter, number 5, as the two captains now meet. Hugh Raffier and Hugh McGann. Hugh McGann took a couple of big knocks in that third test at Central Park in Wigan, but he fought back very well. He looked pretty sick in the first 10 minutes or so, though, Mark.
Yeah, Huey, he went down for a couple of knocks. But, like Huey always does, he gets back up again. Another player that is looking for a big game today.
Well, as they stand at the moment, with the Kiwis playing from left to right, the Kiwis will have the win in the first half. Just a question of, in fact, if that's the way they play. But it looks as though we're going to see the Maori haka here. We didn't see it in the third test at Wigan, but it looks like it's been reinstated. Sam Stewart. So that proves popular with the local crowd here at Carcassonne as the Kiwis perform the traditional Maori haka. And the reserve players leave the field, and very shortly we'll have action here in the first rugby league test between New Zealand and France. Last time the Kiwis were here was in 1985, 4 years ago, and they won both the tests with France not scoring any points, in fact. So the Kiwis will have the advantage of quite a strong wind in this first half. So the tactics, no doubt, will be to clear the ball deep down into French territory, Mark, with that strong wind behind them.
I'd say so. It's the first 20 minutes of a test match. We get the ball down there and hopefully wait for France to make a few mistakes and then try and capitalise on that. But the first 20 minutes of a test match is a bit of tension and a bit of sorting out to be done.
So Robin Whitfield signals time on, and the first rugby league test is underway, and the ball bounces forward from Sam Stewart. So a knock on early on by the Kiwis. In fact, Stewart has stayed down. A little bit of indecision there, and Stewart appears to take an early knock. So not a good start for the Kiwis.
I think there was a bit of a misjudgment there with the wind, and with it being such a strong wind, the ball held up. Looked as though it was going deep, and I think Gary Freeman, Sam Stewart, a bit of indecision there, and he copped a bit of an injury.
Looks like he might have a knock to the back. It is a strong wind, and it just held up a little there, and both Freeman and Stewart were a little bit indecisive, and France will have to put in eventually to the scrum. Picking up one or two of the players for you, the French players. Number 7 there is Patrick Onsar. Let's have another look at this. You see that it holds up in the breeze. A bit more than a breeze, really. And Stewart bending down to pick it up. And he finally gets a bit of a knee in the back, I think, as he went down to cover that ball. But he's back into his position in the scrum. So France have the put in, they win the first scrum. Chiming in as their fullback, Peugeot, right out in centre field. Handed up to Vernon B, number 13. He's the loose forward. Onsar is in there, but the Kiwis are offside early on and are penalised. This should really be a gift, 2 points for the French, as the penalty is given right out in front, and just a matter of 15 metres out from the post. So Gilles Dumas, the man who made the kick-off at halfway just a couple of minutes ago, will kick for goal.
That's all Robin Whitfield stamping his authority straight away on the game, putting the Kiwis back for 5 yards, which he has to do really, I suppose, in a test match. And to see he wants an open game.
So Dumas kicks the first points of the game, and just a couple of minutes into the match, it's France ahead by 2 points to 0. The penalty goal kicked by Gilles Dumas. So the Kiwis haven't had the ball to play with at all yet. This is Kelly Shelford from halfway. France in position, 15 metres out from their own line, and another penalty against the Kiwis. So that's 2 in just a couple of minutes. Frenchman there to play the ball. Well, there's an example of how strong the wind is. The kick from Daniel Price, I think, almost went backwards.
Yeah.
So France to take the tap, still 15 metres out from their own line. Kiwis not really into the game as yet. Robbo, number 8, in possession. Once again, the loose forward, Terry Burnham-Bee, who in fact was going to be the hooker until the late change was made. And that's a nice kick by Gilles Dumas. But at least the Kiwis should, at this stage, get a hold of the ball. Gary Freeman feeding the scrum. Big shove from the French. Comes out to Shelford. Here's Tony Kemp, who played so well at fullback in the third test against Great Britain. He gets an early touch of the ball. Darrell Williams takes it out. Here's Hugh McGann. 8 metres on the Kiwi side of halfway. And the penalty goes against the French. Terry Burnham-Bee, the loose forward, knocking the ball away. And so this time it's the Kiwis with a penalty. 5 metres on their own side of halfway. 2 points to 0, France ahead. Not a great kick by Darrell Williams, but at least it's across the touchline. Put on the mark by Dwayne Mann. Brent Todd takes it up. 12 metres in French territory. Mann to Freeman. To Faimalo. Oh, and it goes loose. Freeman snaps it up again. Gives it back to McGann. Gives it away to Shelford. Faimalo now in possession. The Kiwis getting out of that one okay. Here's Kurt Sorensen. Still 2 points to 0. Zuma, a penalty goal for France. Here's Sam Stewart, who seems well recovered from that early knock. That's the quarter line as Mann takes it out. Now Freeman again. Shelford. Good solid tackle made on Dean Bell, and he's down. So another Kiwi is down. The referee wants the ball played, I think. Wants it played quickly too. But Dean Bell remains on the deck as the kick comes from Shelford. And it's nicely handled by Peugeot. It looked as though he'd misread it for a moment, but somehow he managed to balance on his fingertips. And the Kiwis again are offside. So Robin Whitfield is certainly leaving his mark at the early stages.
Yes, he is, Grant, yeah. I think Dean Bell copped a couple of knees in the back again. But the French are coming back well here. We've applied a first bit of pressure there. Good check by Kelly Shelford, and Chase. The French playing well.
Now Dumas hands it up to Ontar. Kiwis have the wind in the first half, remember. Here's Ontar. Gives it up to Cabastani, Didier Cabastani. That's the last tackle now as France gets to within 8 metres of halfway. Little kick and chase, well read by Freeman. And Gary Freeman takes the tackle. 10 metres on the Kiwi side of halfway. Handed away by Iro up to Kemp. Good solid defence by the French in the first 5 minutes of the game. There's Asini Faimalo. One of the big successes of this Kiwi tour party in Great Britain and France. Now Brent Todd. No gaps yet appearing.
The French defence is very good.
Sam Stewart turns it back to Freeman. McGann up to Williams, lobbing it out to Kevin Hero. Got out of one, got out of a couple more. Now Sorensen. Sorensen to play at 8 metres on the French side of halfway. Now the kick from Freeman. Nice kick too from Gary Freeman. Stabbing it through. And the scrum will be set about 15 metres out. Well, so far the French defence has been excellent.
Yeah, very good. Typical of the first 20 minutes of a test match, but been quite impressed. New Zealand have had a couple of goes now. Tried to break with a blindside move. Kevin Hero had a bit of a run. And the French are quite impressive so far.
Only one member of this French side played in the game midweek match for Midi-Pyrenees. That's the prop forward Jean-Luc Rabot, number 8. So the rest of them are fairly new to the Kiwis. Cyril Pong from the left wing. Striding in. Plays it to Dumar. Here's Vernon B. He's been very prominent in the first 7 or 8 minutes of this game. The loose forward. Dumar again. French making a bit of ground on the right wing side. There's Terry Boutignol, he's the other prop forward. He'll play it to Patrick Ontar. The kick again from Dumar. Plenty of time here for Hero. Made good ground too, Kevin Hero. So he'll play it just on the Kiwi side of halfway to McGann. Todd back quickly, but he dropped it and knocked on by Brent Todd. Dean Bell, number 3, getting up. He seems to have recovered from that knock in the back. Ten minutes gone in the game, and the French have it. Here's Peugeot, the fullback, in on the blind side. Rather a lethargic start to the match by the Kiwis. Once again, Burnham B goes for a run. 2-0, France lead here in Carcassonne. This is the first test, transferred from Perpignan. Here's a chance for the French. Ontar links up nicely with Price, and the French have a try. The Kiwis not making the tackles, and Daniel Price scores between the posts, and it's 6-0. Well, some lovely lead-up work there by France. Let's have a look at it as they change direction here. Dumar has the ball. Transferred it to Kabastani. Tackle missed there by Todd. Freeman took the player, but it quickly went to Ontar. And a good little run from the halfback here, and he was able to link with Daniel Frace, number 4. He stepped inside Kemp, and one of the Kiwi players tripped over the Tony Kemp, and Frace threw virtually untouched, and that was a good try.
Good try by the French there. Once you miss a couple of tackles, once they're through the line, that's it, they're away. Conversion is made by Dumar, and suddenly the Kiwis find themselves 8 points down. They called us on the blind side there. They were 4 against 3, and they converted. So 11 minutes gone in the first half. The Kiwis with the strong win behind them, down by 8-0. France in possession right on the quarter line. Another big charge from Rabot, but the whistle's gone. Flipped the pass nicely to Peugeot. Jean-Luc Rabot, but the pass was just marginally forward. And so the Kiwis have the foot into the scrum. Looking a little rattled at the moment by this French team, who lead by 8-0. And the penalty here to the Kiwis.
Here's Darryl Williams. Now the Kiwis should be able to mount an attack from this position. They'll have possession 20 metres out from the French line. Gary Mercer. Haven't seen much of him so far, but the French tackling is solid. Here's McGann charging through. Held up just 2 metres short. Kiwis looking good in attack here. Now man up to Freeman. Freeman flips it nicely to Sorensen. Back to Freeman. Could open up to the left. Here's Kelly Shelford. But once again the tackle made. 8 metres short of the line. Shelford plays it to Mercer. Mercer held up 3 metres short. Man up to Freeman. To Shelford. Transferred quickly. Chance here on the right, but a bad pass from Williams in front of Kevin Ero. And far too far in front of him for him to be able to run onto it. And so the chance for the moment anyway is lost.
It was a bit hard here to do these floaty passes with the wind as strong as it is, but the idea was there, and Kevin would have been away if the ball was there out.
8 points to 0, France lead. Onsar feeding the scrum. This is the fullback Peugeot. Dumar. Well taken by Hugh McGann, who's making a lot of early tackles for the Kiwis, the captain, number 13. Once again, the pass is slipped away to Pong. And Kemp went under, he wasn't held. And he got up and went again. So France running it out from right near their own goal line. Here's Onsar. Flips it up to Rabot, number 8. 10 metres now on the Kiwi side of halfway. Once again Onsar to Duma. Onsar again. Pass knocked down. Recovered by Burnenby. And he's taken by Dean Bell and Darryl Williams, the two Kiwi centres. Here's Boutignol. Just near halfway. Costa Price. Here is the other centre three-quarter, Porquet. And once again the French making ground as Dean Bell was able to make the tackle. Up to Burnenby. Flipped it to Kademi. In possession is Kabastani, number 11. That's the last tackle. Peugeot takes it out. The kick comes from Duma. Oh, and it's worked perfectly. Everything going right for the French at the moment. Lovely little kick by Duma. And it bounced across the touchline.
Kiwis are feeling a bit rattled at the moment, and once these Frenchmen get on attack, they're very hard to stop.
15 minutes gone in the first half. 8 points to 0. A try and 2 goals. Gary Freeman takes it out of the scrum. But the French have been penalised. Something of an all-purpose stadium here. It's got a running track, it's got a cycling track, and of course the rugby league pitch in the middle. Brent Todd flipped it nicely to Dwayne Mann. Man is held and taken by Kabastani. Didier Kabastani, number 11. Sorensen. As you can see, the French tackling is very solid.
Very keen at the moment.
Here's Marlow, flipped it up to Freeman. Cross to Stewart. Gap appears for Sam Stewart. And flipped the pass to Dean Bell. 5 metres on the French side of halfway. Now Freeman linking up with Darryl Williams. Good run coming from Williams. And the pass to Mercer was lost forward. I think Gary Mercer was quite expecting that pass.
No, Darryl was trying to slip the ball out there.
So worrying times here for the Kiwis, down by 8 points to 0, not making too much impression. And the penalty this time goes against New Zealand. Robin Whitfield handing out a number of early penalties in the game. Number 4, the try scorer, Daniel Trace. Comes across to Zilmar. It's better tackling from the Kiwis. Stewart and McGann. Once again, the French changing direction. Another strong run by Bernabei. Ontar to Zilmar. Looks fairly dangerous out in the centres. This time Dean Bell, number 3, makes the tackle for the Kiwis. Brace to play it to Tabastani. Fullback Peugeot likes to get involved in play. He's been in plenty of it. Nice little kick through by Dumar, but Freeman read it well. Stepping out of a couple of tackles. And this time France offside. So a lot of early stoppages in this game. The France lead by 8 points to 0 after 18 minutes. That's a good kick by Shelford, using the wind to good effect on this occasion. So the Kiwis will have this just 18 metres short of the line as Mann puts it on the mark, gives it up to Iro. Now Mann across to Todd. 5 or 6 metres short of the line now, the Kiwis. Dwayne Mann up to Faimalo. Faimalo struggling towards the line. Slipped out of one tackle. It was high from Dumar. And so now Mann. And once again, the French are offside. The Kiwis may take a quick tap here. Gary Freeman just settling it all down. So now Dwayne Mann with the tap. Gary Mercer. Good strong run again from Gary Mercer, who was man of the series for the Kiwis in the Test series against Great Britain. And a little knock on there by Dwayne Mann. So another chance gone.
Yeah, a few little mistakes there from the boys. Prime attacking position there, 10 yards out, and Dwayne unfortunately knocked the ball on.
Ontar into this defensive scrum for France. Ratier, the winger and captain. French still inside their quarter line. They lead by 8 points to 0, almost halfway through the first half now.
That's good defence. New Zealand's moving up quicker now.
Savastani, number 11. He's been prominent in the first 20 minutes. Another penalty given. Once again, the Kiwis infringing in the tackle. And Dumar's kick does go backwards this time. But it's safely into touch all the same. Patrick Ontar. Cross to Dumar. Is Frace. Kiwis not seeing a lot of possession so far in the match. Ontar. This is Rabot, the prop forward. Now on to Duma. Nice little pass again to Burnenby. And it required a good tackle by Gary Freeman, as that nice little pass was slipped to the loose forward. Here's Paul. On top. Good slick passing again. Here's a chance for the French. Dive, the second row forward. And a head-high tackle ruled against the Kiwis this time.
A good tackle there from Dean Bell. It's the French are flying high at the moment, but Dino came across from the other centre and stopped that movement. The referee regarded it a bit high, and they'll be having a shot for goal.
Well, most of the good play so far has come from the French. They've looked very slick in attack.
They have been. The French have always been very, very good with the ball, and once their tails are up, they're very, very hard to stop. And they're slipping the ball. We're making 2 or 3 tackles, but we're missing that 4th one. And they're also testing us each side of the ruck. They're going one way, then going the other way. It's something that we'll have to get sorted out. But I do see us creeping slowly back into this game.
Gilles Duma kicking into the wind, remember. Not a bad looking kick. That's a good kick indeed. It's a strong wind. And Gilles Duma read it particularly well and has given the French a lead of 10 points to 0 now, and 23 minutes gone in the first half.
Yes, 10-0. No one would have expected the French to be up 10-0, but that's what it is. I don't think the clock's working too well over here at the moment.
No. Run back by Ratier, the captain. Kiwis will start to get frustrated shortly. They haven't really had a lot of the ball, as I said before, and the French have had enough, and they've done well with it. Boutignol, number 10. That's better tackling from the Kiwis. In hard and early. Last tackle. So let's have a look for Duma. No, in fact, it's going the other way to Onsart. Bounces for Tony Kemp. Kemp made a lot of play in the third test from this position. He's got out of 1 tackle. And a good little break there from Tony Kemp. That's the 10-metre line in French territory. Here's Gary Mercer, who's had a very good tour. Hasn't scored a lot of tries, but has played very strongly. French tried to play in centre field. Here's Mann. Now Freeman. Up to Stewart. Looking for Freeman. Finally it went to Shelford. And it was straightened up by Jeff Sorensen. There's Kelly Shelford with a bit of room to move. Just couldn't slip the pass to Dwayne Mann. Right in centre field, about 15 metres out on the last tackle. Up to Sorensen. Here's Dean Bell, and Bell's hands it him down this time. And the French have possession again through Cabastani. Boutignol, number 10. Now Onsar up to Burnenby again. Get metres out from the 22. Here's the hooker, Kadami. Savastani, once again, he's been prominent. And the tackle completed by Kurt Sorensen over the top. Last tackle. Here's Duma. Bounces down to Iro. Iro gliding his way through, but slipped the pass nicely to McGann. McGann couldn't give it away to Kemp. And the French, once again, back in possession. Now Duma to Burnenby. This is Frace, the man who scored the try. We simply haven't been able to retain possession.
No, we don't deserve to to be close to French at the moment. There's too many mistakes, drop ball, trying to push the pass.
Can't see him at the moment, but Francis Leota is already warming up for the Kiwis.
I think there's going to be a change. He's going to inject Francis into the game straight away. Francis had a great tour. And
here's Burnaby away again. He's got support from Dumar. Now Dumar. Ball still there. And Paul gets the try. Well, once again, it was set up by the loose forward, Terry Burnaby. And the Kiwis were always stretched, or one or two heroic tackles made. Let's have another look. And it was just a straight break made here. He slipped inside Wayne Mann. And this long run here from Burnaby, he had good support from Dumar. Delayed the pass nicely. Kemp made a good tackle here, but Dumar fired it back, and there were any number of French players in support. And it fell for the hooker, Kadami, and I think he might have just about been able to get there himself, but he found Cyril Pong, the left winger, and goodness me, 14 points to 0.
Yeah, they made the break there. All it was just slip through the line, one missed tackle, and they scored a try. We're really going to have to do some work now.
Dumar attempting to convert, and that's about the first mistake he's made in the game. But France really flying high, 14 points to 0. The Kiwis have made a substitute. Sam Stewart has gone. He took that knock in the very first minute, you'll remember. And Francis Leota, you can see him there to the right of picture, number 16. He is on the field. So 11 minutes out from half-time. The Kiwis, remember, have the win, but they are down by 14 points to 0. Forget about the clock, that's not working. The scoreboard is, though. Good solid tackle made that time on Philippe Forquet. Boutignol. And that's a mistake made by France. They've lost possession, and Leota comes up with it. So let's see if the Kiwis can make something of this. They have possession just out from the quarter line in French territory. First man to take it is Todd. The Kiwis really need to hit back fairly shortly here. Down by 14 to 0. Now man to Faimalo.
Good run, Sulu.
And offside against France. Standing up far too flat. This is certainly kickable. Whether in fact the Kiwis want to or not is another thing. Kelly Shelford has the ball. No, they're going to tap it. Giving it to Dean Bell. Bell getting pretty close to the line. And Shelford, in fact, was running at his shoulder. And Bell didn't quite see him to the left. Now Mann pops it up to Sorensen. He gives it back to Shelford. Now Freeman. Here's Faimalo. Freeman carrying on, looking towards the blind side, but the tackling still remaining strong. Now Shelford, across to Bell. Bell looks for his support, has it in the form of Kelly Shelford. Shelford running out, he'd be calling Mercer back in field. Mercer pops it up to Freeman. This is better from the Kiwis, they're keeping it alive. Here's Leota. French defence is holding, 15 metres out. Now Mann. Freeman calling Sorensen inside. He popped it up nicely to Faimalo. And it's the last tackle, 6 metres out. Now Mercer, up to Sorensen. Here's Bell, across to Kivanero, and the Kiwis have their first try after good lead-up work. And on the last tackle, they kept it moving, and Kivanero scores in the right-hand corner.
Yeah, it was a good ball there by Kurt Sorensen, or Dean Bell, I think. Good lead-up work. We needed that. Keeping the ball alive.
So Kevin Hero scores the Kiwis' first try, and it's taken a long time in coming, 31 minutes in fact. Here is the lead up to it, as Gary Freeman gave it up to Kurt Sorensen. He flipped it to Faimalo, and he took the tackle here. Now, it was the last tackle on the Kiwis, and so they had to do something. You can see Freeman looking to the right there. He really is the marshal for all these moves. He took, well, in fact, it was Sorensen who took the pass, and a nice long pass out to Dean Bell, and missing out Kemp across the bows of Tony Kemp, and it was Kevin Hero who scored the try. No goal from Kelly Shelford. It was from a long way out. But at least the Kiwis have got points on the board. It's, as I say, it's taken 31 minutes to happen.
We need a good start from the kick-off now and a bit of organisation. Possibly a kick down and keeping them down there with 9 minutes to go to half-time, and then we have to have a rethink at half-time to see how we're going to get right back into this game.
Two tries to one so far. Priest and Pont have scored for France. Hero for New Zealand. Now Hugh McGann. Here is the try scorer, Kevin Hero. Hard man to put down. Playing today in his 13th international at just 21 years of age. Here's a veteran of the side, Kurt Sorensen. Kelly Shelford now. Francis Leota, a good run from him. Quickly played. Kiwi starting to look better now. The kick coming from Kemp. Lobbing it down behind Ratier.
Great kick and chase there. Just what we need, and it's 5 yards out from their line now.
Good swarming defence by the Kiwis, keeping the French pinned. You can see by the flag in the background just how strong the wind is. That's 3 tackles gone, and really the French have made no progress whatsoever. Zoom up. That's 5, so last tackle. And Rabot to play. Back to Dumar. Oh, he's been taken. Ball goes loose and hacked away by Pont. So it's a handover where the kick was made. It was handy for the Kiwis. They're only 15 metres out. Mann plays it to Freeman. Up to Kurt Sorensen. Flips it up to Freeman again. Freeman to play it to Dwayne Mann. Strong run again by Brent Todd. Running it across towards centre field. Now Mann. Out to Shelford. To Bell. Shelford doubling round again. Kemp is in. No room that way, so Tony Kemp comes back the other way. Flips it up to Freeman. Here's Mann. Faimalo. They were waiting for Asini Faimalo though. Kiwi's starting to play with a little more urgency now. Freeman turns it back to Leota. Smashing his way downfield again. Mann again. Freeman. Todd. I think the Kiwis might have another 6 there. That might have been the ruling from Robin Whitfield.
One of the French men that's coming back to 1. 10 yards out. Should be going close here.
So the Kiwis have any number of tackles here. They can manoeuvre it round a bit. Here's Faimalo battling his way towards the line. He's held just a metre short. The crowd, I don't think, picked up the ruling from Robin Whitfield. They thought that the tackles would run out, but they haven't, in fact. Here's Kemp. Battling his way out of as many tackles as he can. He got it away too to Freeman. Chance here for the Kiwis. Hero's taken very high, and the penalty is given. Tackle made by Dumar, quickly taken by McGann. Up to Mercer. Good period of attack here from the Kiwis, but once again the French defence holding as Tony Kemp has it. Really testing the French defence as Mann gives it up to Todd. Three minutes out from half-time. Back to Leota. Leota plays it to Mann. Now Freeman. Here's Shelford, and Kelly Shelford is through, and he scores under the post. After good lead-up work by the Kiwis, they'd hammered away there for 3 or 4 minutes, and finally it's Kelly Shelford scoring the try, and the Kiwis now very much back in this game.
Yeah, Gary Freeman got Kelly Shelford was motoring onto that ball, stepped on the inside, and hopefully another 6 points for the Kiwis there. But good work here. Dwayne Mann onto Gary Freeman. Kurt Sorensen run the block. Kelly off his left foot and in under the post.
So a lovely try there scored by Kelly Shelford. He should be able to convert this to make it 14-10. Just a reminder of this telecast, not only through Television New Zealand, but throughout Screen Sport throughout Europe. Now 2 tries each in this first test in Carcassonne. France led by 14-0 at one stage. But the tourists have come back with tries by Iro and Shelford. Now Shelford attempting to convert his own try, does that, and it's 14 points to 10, and we're about a minute out from half-time, so that'll give the Kiwis some heart. They were really looking down the barrel there at one stage.
14-0, yeah. But the last 10 minutes have all been the Kiwis. Have been attacking very, very well. The French have held out reasonably well, but there was only a matter of time before we were able to break through, and a good try there by Kelly Shelford. It's just what we needed a minute before half-time.
Kelly Shelford scored tries in the first and third tests against Great Britain. And here he has one in the first test against France. So not only does he do the goal-kicking duties, he's able to cross the line as well as Dumas. Restarts down to the Kiwi skipper, Hugh McGann, calling Iro in again. He's not an easy man to tackle. Kevin Iro almost inevitably makes his way through the first tackle. Now Mann up to Kurt Sorensen. This is a good clean break. Up to Gary Freeman, and Freeman's away. Can he go all the way? And yes, he can. What a great try. Gary Freeman. After the scintillating burst made by Kurt Sorensen, and Gary Freeman's little legs pumping for dear life, and he just made it. What an excellent try. And it's 14 all.
Oh, that all started from the run from Kevin Iro from the kickoff. Big, hard, strong run, and Kurt Sorensen got running strongly onto that ball and on the inside to Gary Freeman. Straight from kickoff.
Well, the Kiwi supporters, there aren't too many of them here, but they've at last got something to yell about. It. As you say, it came right from the kickoff here, where it was taken by Hugh McGann. And a nice run here made by Kevin Iro once again. Such a big, strong player. And look as he hands a couple off. And then look for Kurt Sorensen.
He's running now. Kurt's getting ready to run now. Runs hard onto the ball, steps off the left. Shows a bit of speed, still got the old speed. Into Gary Freeman, and he's gone. The centre come pretty quick after him. Takes him about a couple of metres before the line. But his momentum takes him over.
So Gary Freeman just made it. We can tell you that Kelly Shelford converted the try from a handy position, and it's all happening because the half-time whistle has also sounded. 16 points to 14 then at half-time. So just a quick review of what we've seen in the first half. France ran out to a 14-0 lead with tries by Thrace and Pont, 3 goals by Dumas to make it 14-0. And the Kiwis have hit back in the last 10 minutes with a try firstly by Iro, then Shelford. He converted that one himself. Then Gary Freeman scored a try right on half-time that Kelly Shelford converted. So almost unbelievably, the Kiwis, after being behind by 14 points to 0 at half-time and playing with the wind, have gone to a lead of 16 points to 14. We'll be back here in Carcassonne just before the start of the second spell.
Well, there it is, 16 points to 14 at half-time for France. 2 tries, 1 converted and 2 penalties. And a late burst by New Zealand with 3 tries now, 2 conversions, a 2-point lead, 16-14. And Alan, you said right from the start that the French were going to throw it at us, and that's exactly what they did.
Well, the first 20 minutes, Doug, you had to say there was only one team in it. The French defence was outstanding, and I was very impressed the way they were clearing the ball from the ruck. New Zealand, when they had the ball, when they did have it, because they didn't get a lot of possession in that opening 20 minutes, I thought just kept it a little bit too much in the middle. And the French were very quickly, you noticed from dummy half, they would skip it 2 or 3 wide and get the halves to run and bring the fullback, and I think the second row and loose forward also having a very good game. So the French playing with a lot of confidence, which is, you really don't want them to do that, because once they get their tails up, they are very hard. And they've got a lot of pace in their outside backs, and that was a great start by the French, particularly on attack and also their defence, outstanding.
Most unusual thing about Sam Stewart right from the start there. He got a bit of a tweak, a knee in the back, and he's gone now.
Well, Francis Leota's got an opportunity now. He's a highly rated player, particularly here in club football in Auckland. And the harder the going, the better Francis Leota is, and he's a very good damaging runner. And I think coupling up with Kurt Sorensen, he's looking to have a very, very good game and causing the French a few problems. They're standing off him a little bit, and I think those 2 players are really going to come in. We've got 3 good runners in the forward pack now, not decrying Sam Stewart's effort, but more devastating runners with Fai Marlow and Sorensen and Leota.
Okay, we've got lots more to come yet, but let's have a look now at some of the highlights from the first half. Remember that at half-time, New Zealand lead by 16 points to 14.
From Perpignan.